Muy buenos días amigos, la compañía norteamericana FISKER ha lanzado dos nuevos modelos que parecen estar totalmente dirigidos a competir con las próximas iniciativas de Tesla, como son la Cybertruck y el coche asequible. Veremos un poco más adelante en el vídeo qué es lo que han presentado. Vamos a comenzar con el repaso de lo que hicieron los títulos de Tesla en la última jornada. La compañía de vehículos eléctricos vio avanzar el precio de sus acciones en un 2,05%. Este movimiento alcista se extendía en el mercado after hours hasta superar los $260 por acción. El volumen de negociación fue bajo y no llegó a las 100 millones de transacciones. El mercado, sin embargo, presentaba una jornada volátil, como vemos en las gráficas intradía. Hubo movimientos descendentes y ascendentes que al final encontraron cierta compensación y provocaron que el cierre del Nasdaq se solventara con una pequeña pérdida del 0,10% y el del S&P 500 con un retroceso del 0,25%. Por sectores tenemos que el de energía fue el que mejor lo hizo frente a los de real estate y utilities que presentaron retrocesos importantes. En el mapa de calor del S&P 500 nos encontramos con disparidad de comportamientos incluso dentro de los mismos sectores, lo que nos habla de cierta falta de preferencia por parte de los inversores por los activos de mayor o menor riesgo. En el mundo del motor, si ayer era Toyota la que avanzaba, hoy es la que mayor retroceso presenta, con una pérdida del 3%, mientras que algunas nativas eléctricas como Li Auto, NIO y Xpeng presentaban revalorizaciones mayores en todos los casos al 3%. En el ranking de empresas por capitalización, Tesla volvía a recuperar la séptima posición frente a Meta. Recordad que si os gusta este tipo de vídeos tenéis el botón de me gusta para agradecerlo. También os podéis suscribir al canal si todavía no lo estáis. Y muy importante es que activéis las notificaciones para que estéis al tanto de las últimas noticias de Tesla. En cuanto a las noticias que pueden tener algún tipo de impacto en la evolución del precio de la acción de Tesla, empezamos con una serie de rumores que se han filtrado en las redes sociales de China y que hablan de que los responsables de producción de Tesla habrían indicado a la plantilla que la fecha para discontinuar la fabricación del actual Model 3 sería el 14 de agosto. La fabricación del nuevo modelo, lo que se conoce como el proyecto Highland, empezaría en algún momento de este trimestre. Como decimos, son rumores, por eso le hemos dado 5 puntos en nuestro indicador de confianza. La compañía no ha realizado ningún tipo de confirmación de estas informaciones. Por otra parte, tenemos que Tesla ha ampliado su actual contrato con el grupo industrial chino Yahua por otros 5 años, hasta el 2030. Este es un contrato de suministro de dióxido de litio de grado batería para la fabricación de baterías para vehículos eléctricos. La ampliación de este contrato también implica un aumento en el volumen que la empresa de origen asiático debería ser capaz de suministrar a Tesla. Se habla que hasta el 2030 este volumen podría ser de entre 200 y 300.000 toneladas de hidróxido de litio. La agencia Reuters sigue con sus artículos con una cadencia casi diaria acerca de las reuniones que se están manteniendo entre los representantes de Tesla y los representantes del gobierno indio. En esta ocasión cubre una posible reunión que tuvo lugar la semana pasada entre los ejecutivos de Tesla y el Ministro de Comercio de la India. Lo importante de esta noticia es que esta reunión es la reunión de más alto nivel que se ha mantenido desde las primeras conversaciones preliminares que tuvo Elon Musk con el primer ministro de la India. En otro orden de cosas, Martin Vieca, que es el responsable de relaciones con inversores, ha reaccionado a una serie de artículos que en los últimos días se están publicando en la prensa británica que ponen en duda la viabilidad del vehículo eléctrico. Nosotros ya estamos curados de espanto respecto a las informaciones y relatos que se filtran en los medios de comunicación sobre este tema. Casi lo más importante de esta noticia nos parece que Martin Vieca haya hecho algo productivo. Esto es totalmente una opinión personal, pero este quizás sea uno de los directivos de Tesla con un perfil más bajo. Estuvo prácticamente desaparecido durante la importante corrección que presentaron las acciones en el año 2022 y su perfil parece estar totalmente a la sombra del carisma o la capacidad de generar atención que tiene Elon Musk. La siguiente es una pequeña nota para informar del cambio de facturación en supercargadores en Canadá. Esta noticia parece estar relacionada con algunas regulaciones y normativas del país. Lo importante es que ahora se va a facturar a los clientes por los kilovatios hora que introducen en sus vehículos, más bien que por el tiempo de uso de la estación de carga, que es como se venía haciendo en la actualidad en dicho país. Por otra parte, Reuters publicaba hace unos días un artículo donde generaba un relato respecto a la autonomía publicitada por Tesla y lo que se encontraban algunos clientes. Recordar que era un artículo en el que sugería que Tesla había creado un equipo específico para atender este tema. Pues bien, ahora 3 propietarios de vehículos Tesla se han animado a demandar a la compañía por este tema y han incluido las informaciones de este artículo dentro del argumentario de la demanda. Por otra parte, se ha conocido el dato, según la CPCA, de los vehículos vendidos por Tesla en China en el mes de julio. Esta cifra asciende a un total de 64.285 unidades. Esto incluye tanto las exportaciones como los vehículos vendidos en el mercado local. La cifra parece preocupante puesto que representa un 31% menos que el mes anterior, aunque respecto al año pasado sea de un 128% más. Para entender bien esta cifra tenemos que ver esta tabla, cuya fuente es de Tesla Daily. La suma de la primera y segunda columna sería el dato de la tercera columna, que es precisamente el dato que se ha conocido. Esto no significa que sea el dato de la producción de la Gigafactory de Shanghai, el cual podría ser mayor, aunque cuyo efecto lógicamente sería un aumento en las cifras de inventario. En todo caso, no podemos precisar cuáles han sido las causas exactas de este dato tan modesto. Quizá tenga algo que ver con la actualización de las líneas de producción del Model 3 proyecto Highland. En todo caso, es solo un mes dentro del trimestre, veremos cómo va evolucionando el mismo. Y como comentamos al inicio, Fisker ha presentado nuevos modelos. Por una parte ha presentado una pickup eléctrica denominada Alaska, que tiene hasta 340 millas de autonomía nominal, y una cama que se extiende desde los 4,5 a los 7,5 pies. Como sabéis, la cama se refiere a la longitud de la parte de carga trasera de la pickup. El precio de este vehículo podría partir para el modelo más básico unos $45.400. Lo malo es que no llegará al mercado antes de 2025.
All right, so that's definitely a completely different take on a pickup truck. It's obviously super sporty. I mean, just look at those wheel arches, look at the clean body, the muscles in the front. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Look at that, those thin tail lamps, the lights here. I mean, this is just, I mean, it's kind of really cool in my opinion. I can't wait to get out in this one here. Now, so if you open up the bed here electrically, we then thought we got to find a way to kind of get a full size, bed on here. And what everybody else does is you have to kind of order what bed you want. But we thought, no, let's have it in the same vehicle. So we actually have the Houdini trunk here in this vehicle as well, where you can lower the entire area, and then you can actually shoot through long items when you need. You can, of course, fold down all the seats. And in that, when it's like this, it's actually 7.5 foot long as a full-size pickup truck. So when you do need to go out and get your Christmas tree or something long, you can actually do that. And if you go all the way to the edge of here, of the actual tailgate, it's 9.6 feet long. I would say anybody could fit in there and sleep, quite frankly.
Yeah, amazing.
So, of course, at Fisker, have to have 4 features. So this is one of them. But this will also be the world's most sustainable pickup truck. Again, a lot of use of sustainable materials.
Por otra parte, también presentaron el Fisker PEAR, que son las siglas de Personal Electric Automotive Revolution. Según la compañía, se ha diseñado para tener un 35% de piezas menor que cualquier otro modelo comparable del mercado. No hay grandes datos de sus especificaciones técnicas, ni siquiera de su autonomía o capacidad de carga. Lo que sí que ha trascendido es el precio, que será de $29.900.
All right, let's meet PEAR, which stands for, by the way, Personal Electric Automotive Revolution. You know, we really want to design this vehicle here for today's and future's lifestyles. You know, you think about cars, they've kind of not changed much the last 50 years. When you think about different utility aspects of a car. So with the pair, we actually started out looking at young people's lifestyles in big cities around the world. What do they do every day? What do they want out of a car? You know, young people living in cities. How will digital natives use a vehicle in the future? So we designed a lot of flexible spaces in this vehicle, flexible storage. I mean, you saw that kind of drawer that comes out, which we actually call a front boot, which is fruit. Now, I don't know if that's really a great word, but we were very excited about it. We might change that. But it also has, you know, as you saw, the Houdini trunk. And there was a reason why we made that Houdini trunk. That was part of that whole study. And when you think about you're maybe living in a big city, you're parking on the street, and during the night, a big van comes up right behind you, and you come out in the morning, you want to throw something in your hatchback, and you can't open it. So that solves this problem. And I want to take a look at, again, you know, what does this trunk here do? The window comes down, as you see here, and then basically the trunk goes down and disappears inside. Now, one of the important things I want to say with this vehicle, it also had a couple of other reasons. So, for example, there are some old cities where you have a very low parking garage, and again, you can hit your hatchback in the roof on those garages, but this doesn't happen here. And in fact, it's also really easy to walk over to the vehicle and throw something in the vehicle. Super easy. We can close that again. And coming a little bit back to the spaciousness of this car, I want to ask the people inside the car to come out, and I want to remember, this is a compact car, and there is 2 rows of seats in this car. As you can see, 4 doors. And people just keep coming out, by the way. So, what we have here is actually a car we actually have a car here. As you can see, 6 people fits in the car, which is quite unique in a 2-row vehicle. And this is why this matters, because if you want 6 people in a car today, you normally have to buy a 3-row vehicle, which becomes much larger, much more impact on the environment. In this vehicle, you can actually get all these people in the car. And the way we did that, in the front here, you will see that there actually is a bench seat. Instead of a 1 seat for the passenger, there's a bench seat where you can put 2 people, or you can just sit 1 person as well. So we'll offer this vehicle both as a 6-seater, but also as a traditional 5-seater with a unique storage right between the people, a very big center console. Here we decided to show the 6-person variant. You can also see inside this vehicle, there's a lot of new type of storage place. If you look at the whole dash, everything in the dash is about storage. We got some rubber bands where you can fasten things. So it's all about being able to put stuff in different places easily. What's also unique about this car is that we actually have something called the lounge mode, where you can move the front seats forward, fold them down, and the rear seat you can fold down. So you can actually sleep in this car if you want. You can just lounge. And in the 5-seat version, we offer the big 17.1-inch rotatable ocean screen, which really means that you can actually lounge in here and watch a movie. I also want to point something else out. Just talking about, you know, as you all know, we want this to be a very affordable vehicle. So we took a different design approach on this vehicle. For example, I want to highlight the armrest over there. So the armrest in this vehicle, we only have 1 armrest. Now, you know, I know you're thinking, well, who's getting that armrest of these 4 doors? Well, actually, we just designed 1 symmetric armrest, and it's used for all 4 doors. That means 1 part number. So if somebody has to get fixed an armrest, we just have to send 1 armrest. We don't have to ask which door is it. But it, of course, also lowers the cost, lowers the tooling, everything else. That was a theme we took throughout the car. But I want to talk a little bit about how else did we get to the low cost of producing this car. How are we doing that? Well, this vehicle is sitting on a new platform called SLV1. And that stands for simple, versatile, and volume. So What's unique about this platform is it started as a steel plus plus. We called it that, the whole idea of how do we make this vehicle. And the steel plus plus concept was a concept where we want to take parts out of the car. We want to reduce the parts count. And we actually ended up with reducing the parts count in that vehicle of 35%. 35% reduction in parts count. That's a lot. That means it's going to be a lot easier to manufacture this vehicle, a lot easier to assemble it. And just think about, we talked about earlier, shipping parts, 35% less parts in this vehicle, which is quite unique. I also just want to talk a little bit about the exterior design, because we talked about some of the things going forward to certain things, or fitting in from the Ronin over here. So look at those headlamps. They're kind of cool. And of course, they're inspired a little bit by the Ronin. So you're going to get drizzle a little bit of supercar stuff into this vehicle as well, despite the price. And you look at these sculptured fenders. Look at the sculptured design. We are going for something very unique here, which is getting away from all this clutter. It's just a very pure, clean design. And we really looked at doing something new also on the upper area of the vehicle. We kind of took inspiration from sort of the glider planes, which are super smooth and aerodynamic. So you see here at the rear, there's a window which is totally flush with the rest of the body, which is kind of cool, and I can show it over here as well. You kind of see this window here is totally flush, and it's just rolling up here, which is very, very smooth, very cool, very aerodynamic. And when you look at the rear, you can see these tail lamps here. They're just thin wraparound, but it's actually one large spoiler that also helped this being much smoother in the wind. And then going to the front, like I mentioned earlier, kind of every design detail we did in this vehicle was really about, how do you use a vehicle and what do we want to achieve? So if you look at the front, we actually have this very unique wraparound windscreen, and we have a low cowl. And the reason we did that was, again, we want to have that glider plane feeling with this giant panoramic view as you're driving around in the city. You want to have the best possible view all the way out, whenever you're driving around. That's what you want in the city. And that's why we designed this kind of super curvy front windscreen. All right, so let me come to something very important. I can 100% confirm, because we have pretty much finished developing and designing this vehicle. We, of course, now are working with suppliers, but I can confirm that this vehicle will start at $29,900. And that means after federal incentives, because we're going to build it here in the U.S., the price will be $22,400. I mean, that's a heck of a lot of car for money, I think, and a pretty cool car as well. And I think with all these different details, we actually can also broaden our market appeal to many different things that this car can be used for. For example, putting food here in the fruit so you don't have it smelling inside the car, etc. So we have a lot of kind of cool things that we'll start showing off in this vehicle as we move forward. Now, this vehicle will come in mid-2025, and the pair is our vision of a sustainable EV as a connected mobility device.
Hoy nos gustaría saber vuestra opinión acerca de si creéis que estos modelos de Fisker podrían captar algo de cuota de mercado de la Cybertruck o del modelo asequible de Tesla. Como siempre, podéis dejar vuestra opinión en comentarios. Que tengáis un gran día.